Welcome back, guys, to another exciting episode. I'm currently going through all of the water blocks I have made in the past. So here we have a dual 50 by 50 millimeter TEC water block. Now I made this on my newly converted milling machine to a CNC fully automatic one, so I no longer had to spend insane amounts of time turning handles and getting cramp from spraying the coolant on. Now there are two versions of this block, one for Intel and one for AMD CPUs. Both had their unique problems. For AMD, the block was longer than the mounting brackets for a normal cooler and also wider. So I had to drill into the cold plate and then apply the pressure from the back of the motherboard. This created a number of problems because the space between people's motherboards and the back of their cases was quite small, but that was the only way I could do it. As for Intel's brackets were wide enough, but the normal space allowed for a water block or a air cooler was about 80 mil, and the block was 100 mil. So in some cases there was enough space around so you could just mount it straight in the middle. On other motherboards, particularly Asus motherboards, there would be a south bridge or a graphics card in the way, or maybe there was a heatsink for the MOSFETs at the top and you couldn't put it smack bang in the middle. So I had to make an offset block, and that's what this is. Now this block is milled from 10mm copper. That's quite the trend I have going on for a very, very long time. And I have milled 3mm slots, and I have milled them across the block, backwards and forwards. The idea between going from backwards and forwards across the block like this many times versus the length of the block a few times was that the more turns you had, the more turbulence you had, and therefore that should cool better. Now the reason for a 3mm end mill was that was the smallest sized end mill that I could get, that the shaft was the same thickness as the cutter. So some mill bits would be like, say, 1.5mm, but if you look at the end mill, it's actually made from a 3mm end mill. And that made a lot of problems for cutting down and deep into things, because you could only cut as deep as the actual serrations on the end mill. Also, the 3mm was the smallest size that I could cut the maximum depth into the copper. Now, why 10mm copper? 10mm copper was affordable, and one way to ensure large surface areas is to mill it from a very thick piece of copper. So that's what I did. So I ended up getting a lot more surface area by milling it from a much thicker block of copper. So this would have performed much better than the same design milled from a 6mm block. So these blocks were very successful. As you can see, I've made myself seals to seal the water off, and I have some pressure applying bolts, and this worked really well, and I made quite a lot of these in various versions, mainly the next version. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, bye.